Into session, and the recording has started, as you heard. This being the 15th day of March, the Ides of March, by the way.
Beware.
Beware, always beware. Ask Brutus that. And the meeting has started officially at 7:04. So we've called the meeting to order. Acceptance, next thing on the agenda is acceptance of the February 17th meeting minutes. Anybody have any comments?
I have one
Okay.
on the, let's see, page 3. In the first paragraph, it says that we would be having, arts memory and possibly putting up a tent. We're actually trying to do a patio. So tent has to be changed to patio.
You try to do a patio in arts memory?
Yeah, we're going to try to put together some bids and look into putting a patio.
Where
And,
would that be located?
Well, that's part of a discussion to have at the, another time, I guess, but we would like to, get some bids and look at a design to see if it would be, obviously around the courts.
So who all is involved with that? I'm just curious.
Well, we're working on it with the Friends of Tennis.
Okay, because we still have a thing that's 2 years old for our biggest donor. It's given over $30,000.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said, we're still working on trying to get a thing for our biggest donor. That's gone on 2 years now, and that's well over $30,000 that he donated.
Well, on the biggest donor? I don't know what you're talking about.
To the Friends of Oak Hills.
Oh,
Well, it's a separate issue, right?
we're working on.
They're two
Those are two
separate
sep-
issues, Don, but what I'm saying is that I'm just curious where we are on both of them. We've talked about them both a lot, so it sounds like Denise has got something going with for art, which I totally approve. But I'm just curious as to if anybody has started to take any action. There's a couple of people that's not here that said they would on the donors. I guess we have to go to the city in order to get a name change on anything that's on the course.
Well, we're working on raising money, and we've,
Sure.
and so we're continuing to work on raising money so that we can put it towards the patio. I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
Well, we're not
one of our
raising,
biggest-
we don't need to raise any money because he gave to us, but Don, you'd mentioned one time about getting a bench. We were talking about putting up there by the meadow.
I was under the assumption that Ernie
DeRoche?
or whatever did went kind of over our heads and bought one apparently, or told Paul that he needed to get reimbursed or something. Is that not true?
Don't
That
know
was
anything about it.
Paul, I thought I could have sworn, like, I guess Ernie came in and said that he was just gonna go ahead and get it, and
I haven't spoke to Ernie in a long time, but I do know, maybe it was Joe Matafarti.
oh, maybe it was Joe, yeah.
All right, well, Paul, I'll talk to you about that tomorrow too, if that's okay. Are you around tomorrow?
Oh, yeah,
All right, I'll give you a call.
okay.
Thanks, Don. I didn't know about that, but I mean,
Yeah, I
so-
remember it being in a meeting where somebody said that, yeah, it was Joe Metaphori that I guess came in and said, I just went ahead and bought a bench and you guys can reimburse me or something for it.
No,
You know, I
no.
can follow up with Joe too. I just remember that conversation we had.
Well, right now, why don't we do this? I'll talk to Paul tomorrow at some time. I'll grab you in the morning or something, Paul. We'll talk. And then let's get this thing going and get it taken care of. And then if we have to go to the city and ask permission, I'll take it upon myself to go do that and see. I know Mike said he was going to do it, I think, but he's been kind of busy. So let's move to the third item in case we have anybody on.
Wait, hold on. I have one quick comment on the minutes from last meeting. On page 2, under public comment, the last sentence of the second paragraph, it says she invited a member of OPA. That needs to change to OHPA. And that's it for me.
Okay. Any more comments on the minutes? Any other changes? Hearing none, let's, can I get somebody to say they're ready to approve these? Can I get a nomination to say that?
So moved.
Okay, Alan, thank you. Can we get a second?
Second.
Okay.
All right. So the minutes for that meeting that took place on Feb 17 are approved. Okay, no other questions about the minutes that I see. Do we have anybody online for public comment?
Yes, we have one hand raised.
All right. And if we can get that person to say their name and ask their question, that would be great.
I don't know if it's me or not. It's Charlie Brennan.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
So I just have a couple things to say. I was up the course today, and I don't know if Don, there were a couple people that were trying to eat in the restaurant. The restaurant was closed. They left to go someplace else. So I know you're supposed to be open for St. Patrick's Day. And I just want to say, I mean, I was looking at the menu, and the menu looks good, but I think price-wise, I think a lot of your prices are on the high side. I mean, we go out to eat a lot. So I don't know. I mean, I looking at those prices, you're not going to get a lot of golfers coming up there. I don't know if you're going to have a lunch menu or something that's going to attract golfers up there.
I just gotta say, guys, you guys, I understand with costs and stuff, guys, but you gotta understand, all food pricing is up, and you,
I understand. I mean, I know
like,
we're
we
going
can't,
back
we
and
can't
forth.
give away stuff up here just
I mean,
because
I
it's
mean, $18.50 for a chicken sandwich. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I mean, $7.
chicken prices have doubled in the
Yeah,
last year.
I don't know. I've been going out. I haven't paid that, but
All right, so let me interrupt here.
Yeah,
This isn't
but
a public comment
I
section, and we
I
don't,
understand,
we don't
but
do
I'm just,
dialogue in the public comment.
I
But thank you,
understand,
Charlie,
Carl.
for your comments. I suggest you get with Don
Yep.
at the clubhouse or set up a
Yep.
meeting with Don and have that conversation.
I mean, we're not going to get a lot of golfers up there just with those prices. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, like I say, just set that up with Don and you guys have a conversation and
And I think, Carl, I think we need to have something that's set up where the public can ask questions and they get responses on their questions, because we never get responses on our questions that we ask. So that's something that I think is lacking in this whole thing. And I know you guys don't, it's not set up that way with any of the meetings. My wife goes to the bike commission and she asks questions and they answer them. So I think we have to work out something where the people from the course can come up and ask questions and get responses, because I don't think you get people asking questions because they know they're not going to get any answers. So
well, you always send me emails and I respond to your emails, and I know Michael has too. So,
I do. Yeah, I do. But I know a lot of people don't, because they get turned off because they don't get any answers. So,
okay. All right,
so
well, we'll
that's-
deal with
those-
that. You're talking about at the course, seeing somebody face to face and asking a
Yep.
question?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll
So-
deal.
Charlie, who are you asking at the course, just out of curiosity, like questions wise?
I've been at the course since it opened. And I think we asked things, I've been on the men's authority for 14 or 15 years. So I've been in a lot of, between the authority and between all the other stuff. It's just people are getting turned off and they're not asking questions. And
All right.
because they don't think they get any answers on the stuff that they ask. So
No,
I would
no,
ask you-
what I'm asking is
right
where,
now-
where are the questions being posed? That's what I'm asking.
oh, people send questions in, they don't get answers. I've talked to people that have sent letters in that don't get read. So,
But who are they
Where?
sending? Who are they sending them to?
well, I mean, I've talked to some of the guys, they've sent them into the authority and they've asked for things to be read in the minutes, and they do not get answers. They do not get read. I'm not sure who they're sending them to, but these guys are people that have been at the course for a long time. So,
All right, well, if you don't feel comfortable making the comment here or in public.
I don't,
understand
yeah.
that. Send me an email with the names you're talking about and a sample of the questions, because I know Mike has answered things because he
Yep.
copies me
Right
and
there.
I've always
Right on the
answered things. So if you would do that, that would be great.
Yep. okay,
All right?
Yep.
And if you want to meet me at some point at the course, just say
sure,
so.
I will.
Okay. Good. All right. So any other public comment?
There
Anything else?
is a question in the chat.
Question in the chat.
Yeah, it basically says, what is happening with protecting tennis courts from golf balls?
So this goes back, we know what this issue is, and I probably know who's asking the question. Denise, are we any further ahead of taking a look and seeing and supplying to us something that we might want to do? And Jim?
Well, there was a discussion Jim and I had about looking into some netting to be put around the tee in that area to defer some of the golf balls. I'm not quite sure. We haven't probably gotten any quotes yet. I know that the meeting that I had with one of the organizations to come out and give me another quote, I had to cancel. So I haven't been able to reset for that meeting. So I never did get the quote.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been so busy. I haven't given it much thought, but hopefully this week I can revisit with the fencing company that I got the original quote on and another one, and hopefully get a quote on what it would be to put a line of netting next to the 11th tee, which I think would be kind of ridiculous, but if that's what we needed to do to make it.
Well, I think, Jim, we just need to have some pricing and alternatives, and then the board will
Sure.
decide which direction
Sure.
we go. And
Sure.
we'll get Randy's input on it also, because there's been a lot of thumbs up, a lot of thumbs down, yada, yada, yada. So can I ask, since today's the 15th, do you think that we could have a suggestion? We don't have to have a meeting for it, but you can send myself and Michael and Joe a suggestion by maybe the middle of next week, which would be like I think the 23rd. And then we can take a look at it and then we can go from there.
Suggestion as far as a quote for a fence line next.
What you guys think should go and what you recommend and how much it would cost to do whatever you think might need to
Well,
be
I can
done.
try. All I can tell you is I can try. People are not responsive these days, but I'll do my best.
Okay. All right, well, let's shoot for that. And if you're running out of time or doing it, then maybe we'll get some other people involved.
Jim, I can help you in any way. I will. If you want to just let me know anything,
Okay.
anybody
you.
to reach out to.
Okay.
Okay.
And
And
Paul,
I will still reach out to that other company to get them on the premises and give me a quote.
And Paul, I think your opinion is valid in this also. Okay. All right. All right, so we'll shoot for the 23rd. And if you start running out of time, anybody that's been mentioned, let us know, and then we'll see if we can chime in and help or not. Make some calls for you, whatever. Okay. Moving along. I think you've all seen, it's not on the agenda. I'm putting it right after between 3 and 4 before we go to committee reports. And I don't see Jerry on here. Do we know, Mark, was Jerry coming tonight?
No, he said he could not make it tonight, and there hasn't been much movement in the supporters. The only update I have is that I sent on the 2021 calendar year financials for the supporters to Randy Avery so he he files our form 990, which is the tax form for the supporters. So that's it. That's
Okay.
Yep.
So there was Jerry's report done in the form of Mark Gardner. Very good. All right. All right. So moving along, I think everybody has seen that Don sent a letter to the board about resigning as general manager. That was done, I think, down last week someday. I can't remember the exact day.
Yep.
And I certainly understand it because it's a lot to take on up there and first time around and all that. So, thank you for what you've done. Thanks for getting the restaurant open. Thanks for putting up with all the stuff that you went through with the powers that be and all of that. And,
My pleasure. I'm sorry I can't stay on, but like I said, I'd like to focus on, make sure the restaurants gets off to a good start this year. And I think opening weekend was pretty good. But like I said, I'd like to focus on that, and I'll still help in any way you need me to help, and I'm always here to
Sure.
chip in whenever you guys need me to chip in. And
Sure, I appreciate that. By the way, did you get my note today about the menu on Thursday?
uh,
Wasn't a menu, I just asked for one item.
what
Corned
item
beef
did
and-
you?
Corned beef and cabbage.
Oh, that's the staple. We got corned beef and cabbage. We got corned beef and cabbage sandwich, shepherd's pie.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah,
Enough
no, we
said.
got the staples.
Okay, enough said.
Irish stew. Those are the 4 main items.
Very good. I appreciate it. Soda bread?
We don't do the soda bread. We've had no luck with that in the past. We used to get it all the time, and we'd end up sitting on it and throwing it out, to be honest. So we do rye bread with the corned beef and cabbage. You get it for the meal. You get bread with it.
Okay, very good. I'll see you on Thursday lunchtime.
Yeah, we're open all day Thursday, and then we kick right into being open lunch and dinner from there on. So Friday will be open all day, and that'll be nice because it's supposed to be 70 degrees out, so should be nice.
Are we publicizing that anywhere? I know we're kind of.
We've been blasting it on social media. I need to get it. I need to get the write up to Paul to hopefully to blast out to the contacts we have.
Well, if you do or anything, send it to me also, because for years now, I take the JPEG and put it on Facebook, Twitter, and that kind of stuff. Not under our account because I don't have a password, but I put it under my own.
Yeah, no, we've been blasting it, but like I said, we had Friday was a good turnout for the opening night. Saturday we got some of the board members came in. I know Denise and Alan were here.
Yeah, I couldn't make it.
Mike was here.
Yeah, I couldn't make it.
And then the weather kind of killed us. And then Sunday we were open all day. We were open on Sunday night. We literally had no customers. Not a single person was in the restaurant on Sunday night.
Oh, was it quite? Anyway, we can talk about that later. It's not.
Unfortunately, the course wasn't open, so I mean, all right, maybe
Yeah,
you
the
get
two work hand in hand.
maybe you get 10 customers, but without being open, it's kind of probably pretty hard.
Yeah,
But Don, as far as equipment, your kitchen and everything, is no issues there. Everything's good to go.
I mean, we had a couple issues right before we opened. The keg machine, the keg refrigerator, actually the compressor seized the week that we opened, last week. So we had to turn around and get that fixed. But other than that, the equipment's been okay. So far, so good. Knock on wood.
Okay, good. Good. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Alan. Alan and I have been working and talking about, the search for a new general manager. And we've had several conversations regarding it. And Alan drew up some requirements. I have a search company, a search engine that I can look for people. Alan, I didn't get a chance to tell you today, but I checked it out. I've had 194 responses to the post.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't had a chance to go through and sort anything out. So Mark was 191 of them, but anyway. So why don't you, if you don't mind, pick up and tell the group, where we're at and what our game plan is.
So I think I sent out like a job qualification and job description. Did you guys get a copy of that on the board? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So obviously the job description was something that was pretty much done before I got here, but I just put some job qualifications down there. And what it is I think what would work best, and obviously, your input on all this would be great, is someone who's probably done this before, someone who maybe like me is retired, because it is a part-time position. And, we don't need a superstar general manager for something like this, but, someone who has managed possibly a facility like this before, who is used to, working with, professionals like, a controller, a green superintendent, and a golf pro. They're used to dealing with those on a professional basis. Also, someone who is used to, working in the restaurant environment. It is quite an attractive position because the actual general manager isn't actually running the restaurant, which is, believe me, as a past GM, is great because you don't get all the headaches that poor old Don gets. So just overseeing that, and that's the kind of direction that I think we're looking at. I have worked over my years with a couple of executive search people in this area, and I, sent this to them at no fee to us, based upon my relationship with them, and they're going to take a look and see who's out there. Obviously, we're open to anybody who's interested, but I think it just makes sense to have someone who has done this before, especially if it's a part-time position, someone who's possibly retired that lives in Westchester and Fairfield County, hopefully Fairfield County. And I think that would work. And then we get some candidates, we'll interview them and move forward with it. So those are what my thoughts are.
Okay, anybody got any quick comments?
Yeah, I had a comment. Let's see. Well, I guess it just states kind of bluntly, it says this is a part-time position with no benefits. That kind of just, is there another way to word that? That it doesn't sound like you get nothing for what you're doing? I mean, even though there may not be benefits, is there just another way to word that?
They'll get the same pay that we all get.
Well, I think
I mean,
That
they
was a
get,
joke.
this is a paid position though.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely a paid position, but when you get into the situation, if it's a full-time position, it becomes a lot more than I think what we can afford, to be honest with you, because benefits are about $20,000, between dental and health and stuff like that. And
No, I'm
401k.
not saying to add benefits. I was just trying to
Just
think
say
of
the
a better
same
way to
thing, but
put it.
with better words.
Yeah, just with no benefits, just sounds like, you're going to work for us, but you're not getting anything besides your pay. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
It's minor.
Well, that's
good
but-
point.
something.
And I think your part-time job says a lot, but I agree, we probably should define it just a tad more. So I kind of had the same feeling, but anyway.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? How many hours are we asking for this person? Because I mean, part-time could be anything from like 5 to 30 hours. So
Well,
you
I think
kinda need-
in the description Alan sent out, there were some hours mentioned, right, Alan?
Yeah. Mark, how many was it? Did we say? Was it 1,500 or?
17
It was for the year. It wasn't like a weekly number, right?
Yeah. So what you must understand, obviously, that during the winter time, from December, January, February, it's a lot. You need to spend as much time there as you do in April, May, June, July, and August. Obviously there's times, an average, if you think of 30 hours a week, that's 1,500 hours a year. I think something along those lines. Once you go past the 30 hours, then you need to get full-time benefits, but less than that, you don't have to. Also, if someone is, how dare I say it, if they are retired, then they don't need to get benefits. That's another thing, but that's another issue, of course. But that was the idea
Well,
about.
So
I mean,
I would
you
pose
think-
to, I would pose to both Mark and Joe, because you'd probably know this, and I've got it, but I'd have to look it up. Really what really defines a part-time person should probably follow the guidelines of some part-timers we already have.
Well, I can answer that real quick, Carl. The OHPA defines part-time employee as someone working no more than 1,750 hours.
In a period of time of what?
In a year?
In a year, and no part-time employees are eligible for benefits. So to Denise's point, what we wrote is accurate, but yeah, you're right. We could tweak it a little bit to make it sound a little less blunt.
Yeah, okay. So if you would,
But if you take 1,750 and divide it by 52 weeks, it's 33 hours. I mean, if you were to spread it out to working every
over
week.
a full
So-
year.
For a full year. So if you have that person working part-time and they're putting 40 hours in because of the work required, so how does
Yeah, but they may be working 40 hours during the summer, but when it comes to January, February, March, they may only need to work 10 hours or 15 hours, Denise, because there's not a
I
lot.
mean, I understand. I'm just wondering how they're going to look at it.
Well, I think that would be all part of the discussion and talking to whomever might show interest in the job. And of course, there, even though it's a part-time thing, there'll be at least a letter of agreement outlining, and there's a job description. So you bring up really good points, but I think we'll have to outline it at that point. Because you don't want to go with a 40. As you go with a 40, then you're talking full-time employment. So anyway, Okay.
Okay.
No, good points. So we just have to refine it a little bit. But the main thing is, let's get people in the pipeline. Like I said, I use
So
my
how
own
are we,
company.
how are we getting the word out?
Well, as I mentioned a moment ago, or maybe you didn't hear it when I started.
I'm sorry, I was a little late.
Yeah, it's okay. No, you're probably there. Alan, as he mentioned, has got some friends that's done this and he's reached out to them. I have my own little company that does that, and I've already sent out some feelers on my own search engine, and I posted it in my LinkedIn and in Jack's stuff. And like as I mentioned, I've had 194 returns on it. Now I haven't had a chance to filter down through those or really contact them yet, but a lot of people responded. And interesting enough, I didn't narrow it down to just the New York geography. I threw it out there to everybody. So there's people from all over that's replied to it. And that could be from anywhere.
But
Maybe they just haven't watched, but that's all part of the vetting process. And if you're in my kind of business, you got to talk to the person and you start funneling it down. But so that's how, plus anybody you guys know, and any clubs or organizations that you're belonging to. And we probably don't have anything posted on the website or anything posted at the golf course, right?
I don't hear anything about this so far. First I've heard.
It's probably in the same email that was sent to me about the golf course being open. I'm kidding. No, but we should, Paul, put up something, like going into the pro shop or at the pro shop or something that we're looking for a general manager. And Don, if you wanted to put something up in the restaurant somewhere, feel free.
I was
That's
actually
your-
going to send an email because it is hard to get people. And, every year we run this problem at Oak Hills. We lose people. We have to get new people. We have college kids. We have high school kids. So it's really tough, to get the job done with some of those part-timers. But I was going to send an email to everybody. Look, Oak Hills is always looking for qualified applicants who would like to work in the golf business, and we could put that in there as well.
You have an email for the men's club, the men's and women's organization?
Yeah, Charlie sends those emails out.
And Lynn Ryan, does she send stuff out?
Yep.
I would send, once we rework this a little bit, that job posting, call it that, should go to both of those organizations, to the presidents or the people that send them, and ask them to send it out to all their members.
Yep, good idea.
They at least know the facilities, know the golf course and all that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. Denise, tennis, please, and bring us up to speed there.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So we have our fundraiser date set for May 22nd. Don, I know I have to respond to Jennifer, but that I'll do this week so we can just confirm everything. And we've got, for that event, we have Jeff Goki. He's going to come and speak as a guest speaker for arts and talk about, the
Very nice.
relationship with art and Friends of Tennis and everything. So
Yeah.
Jeff was very happy to come and to be a part of it, which was really good. He's also, we're starting to collect donations for the silent auction that we're going to be having, and he's going to be donating some lessons from the pros at Oak Hills. I'm going to be reaching out to other organizations to get some silent donations. If anybody thinks that they would like to contribute to a silent donation, that'd be great. I don't know, I was going to speak with you, Paul, to see if maybe had any kind of something that maybe you would feel comfortable donating, because these are all going to be just bids on them as the people who are going to be attending there. So.
And as far as public or publicizing this, if you want,
yeah, well,
a couple of suggestions. One, it should be on the website.
Yes.
And one, you could talk to Paul about, I don't know, Paul, about one-to-one, maybe doing a flyer or something that we could have posted. And I would put that all over the course. I don't think it just has to be indigenous to the tennis court, because there's a lot of people that play golf also play tennis. So, and everybody knew art. So.
Yeah.
And Paul, if you want to do, sorry, Denise, I was saying, if you want to do a combo, we can do a foursome and a lunch or a dinner up here as a special kind of thing to donate for you guys.
Yeah.
To put in an auction. We can do that together.
Sure.
And then just moving forward, any of those times we ever want to do anything for charity or anything, just kind of just make it a thing where it's foursome and lunch.
Yeah,
That'd be
good
great.
idea.
Thank you. That'd be great.
You're welcome.
So, well, I mean, one of the things we're gonna do, we're writing up our invitation to send out to the Friends of Tennis. And then I was gonna try to figure out what we should put on the website for sure. The only thing is that, you know, I'm hoping that we get a good attendance. Don, you said that about 100 people was probably max, right? For the attendance, for the people to come? I lost you. I think, are you on mute or can I not hear you?
He's on mute. You need to unmute yourself, Don.
Don, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I had a phone call from the other restaurant. Sorry.
Oh,
It's just-
okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay
Okay.
as long as it's not Silvermine. Just kidding. You're still on mute though.
Yeah, well, he did say that we had attendance of maybe about 100 people who could attend. So I'm not quite sure, you know, if we get 50 from our Friends of Tennis, you know, we'd love to reach out to other people. So we will post something on the website. We're in the process of writing something up now.
Good.
And, you know, we're working on that now. I'm working on that with Rich Dellinger. So he's been very helpful with helping me organize this, which is great.
And the same thing that I'm sorry, it's the same thing that I said to Paul too. I mean, we do have two good lists of people that know the course very well. And I'm pretty sure all know Art. And that is to the men's and the women's golf organization. So I'd send it to them as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. So as soon as we get something written up, I'll forward it to you, Paul, and then I guess you can take care of sending a blast out. Is that what you would do? Through the marketing company? Okay, great. You know, so we're all excited about that. And if anybody would like to attend, we would love to have you. I don't know how it works for people to come who are on the authority. I don't know if, you know, you're welcome to come, but I don't know if, because there's no, you know, anything as a gift or services. I don't know if you have to purchase tickets. The tickets are $50 each. So I'm not quite sure where we stand in something like that, Carl.
I think you just leave that up to the individuals of the authority. If they want to attend and they want to, you know, pony up to 50, that's fine. And if you don't want to do, because I know you want all the money you can get, you don't want to do any gratis tickets for anybody, that's your call.
Well, as long as we know that we can do that. I didn't know if that was something, you know, we can do or not do. So.
Yeah, I think you can.
We can, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even if somebody would like to just attend and have a cocktail, you know, be there for part of the time, but
Sure.
we'll put that together and let us think about it.
Okay.
And I mean, the other thing is that, you know, there were some emails between me and Jim and Mark in regards to the drainage situation. And, you know, Jim was working hard on getting some quotes and he came up with a very good quote with his assistance, not in labor, but his assistance that he would be supplying with some materials and not the tractor, what's it called, Jim?
The mini excavator.
Yeah, the excavator, to help us, you know, facilitate this drainage problem. And I know that, well, I know Mark will talk to this too, but I guess there is, you know, money that has been spent over the budget. And so nothing has been spent on the tennis association yet for the 9,000 that we had appropriated for the fiscal year from 21 to 22. So I was really hoping to be able to tap on some of that money so that we could get the drainage problem you know, in the works and get it solved and get it moving, because, you know, the tennis season will open the first week of May. And it'd be great to have the problem, you know,
Solved.
taken care of by then.
All right.
So I'm not quite sure how to proceed.
I'll speak to that during my report, Denise. I'm going to address it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Denise. We need to get this done one way or another. It's very important. It's the number one issue, I think, in the tennis clubs that I see.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we hate to lose this good quote. So if we let it hang out there too long, I'm afraid that, you know, we're not going to get it. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I mean, that's kind of it for the moment. The season will start the second week of May. And one thing I just wanted to add, Mark, is that we will be getting the first payment from Kings Highway probably by the end of April. So that's around $14,000. So, you know, they will be putting in money that hopefully maybe we can use that or use a bit of it towards it if the budget is tight.
That's more of a cash flow issue than an actual sticking to budget, but that is good to know that we'll have that cash in hand in April. Thank you.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. If anybody has questions, let me know.
thank you, Denise.
Denise, it's Jen. Sorry, I just wanted to piggyback on our conversation the other night about the tennis courts in the high school. I just
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that everyone's in communication with, I guess, you or somebody on the authority in terms of using the tennis courts when they tear down the high school, I guess, as a backup court.
Well, I mean, that was something that was just thrown out. I don't know
Right.
how it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. And, you know, Jim had talked to me about that. So, I mean, that's something to see and discuss down the road if it really does come where they would choose to come to us and see what they could work out as a option for them.
Okay,
I
perfect.
spoke with Alan Lowe, who is, I think, the director of buildings for the city of Norwalk.
Mhm.
And he just wanted to ask me, you know, would the authority be willing to at least have a conversation about using the courts while the Norwalk High School was under construction? Maybe they lose their courts while it's under construction. So I said, well, sure, they'll certainly talk with you about it, but you know, the courts, I don't know when the high school season starts, but they would have to be prepped much earlier than normal.
Yeah, it
And-
starts in April. It should be
and
starting.
maintained
April and May
also.
is their season, and it is an after-school program, so it's an afternoon, like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock on, where they practice and then they have their matches.
So it may not infringe too much on,
Right, so it
Kings
would
Highway.
be at the low point where people aren't really using the courts that much, but the courts would have to be put together a lot earlier, and that would be a discussion to have and who would do it. And I don't even know if they want, it's interesting that they asked because we're hard true and they always play
Right.
on hard courts. So,
yep,
you know, I don't know. There's a lot of questions that we would need to talk with them about.
sure.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that all the communication was taking place so that there was no surprises later.
Well, once we get more information, you know, we'll definitely let everybody know.
Okay.
Well, at least you're talking. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. How about, Don, do you want to talk about the restaurant and anything more than you've already said? If not, I'm going to move on to Paul.
Sure, I can do like a quick 2-minute kind of blurb for you guys.
Go for it.
Just one thing I know regarding the pricing. I was kind of bouncing around to like Little Pub, O'Neill's, that kind of stuff, just to look at comparing pricing. Our pricing on the menus are based on a lot of factors, but I don't think our pricing is really that far out of bounds on anything. I think it's, if anything, we're probably even underpriced in some things. For example, the St. Patty stuff we're running, you're getting a corned beef and cabbage meal that comes with corned beef, baby carrots, red potatoes, rye bread and stuff, and it's like $15. Like you look at O'Neill's, they're running it and it's $18.99. So,
Mhm.
and then a shepherd's pie, which has seasoned ground beef, peas, carrots, corn, mashed potatoes. You're looking at $15, which is less than even O'Neill's is doing, and they're Irish, and they do these all the time. So, even like the grilled chicken sandwich that we're talking about, you got a grilled chicken breast, it's fresh mozzarella, pesto, roasted red peppers, balsamic glaze on a garlic wedge, and you get hand cut fries with that and pickles, and it's $18.50. Like I said, I don't want to get in the weeds with every single thing, but a lot of the stuff on here is, you know, you got to take in the fact that delivery costs are up, food costs are through the roof. And I think we've kept pricing almost identical to every other restaurant that we have. And we're going to do happy hours every day. We're going to do specials every day. And then when the new menu, when we do go to the spring menu, we're going to have a lot of like fresh cut sandwiches, like deli stuff and that kind of stuff that'll be a little cheaper. But for this first menu, I just hope people understand we got, a lot of barbecue on here. There's briskets, there's, shrimp and grits. There's a lot of good items on here that are pretty reasonably priced. And for some of you guys that came today for this weekend, I think you saw some of the food that the quality is really good.
Yeah, I will say, Don, your food was excellent. We had a very nice time and enjoyed everything. And the couple that we were with will definitely be coming back. So
Thank you, Denise.
So Don, if I could just weigh in on 2 or 3 things. First of all, let me say I was there on Saturday night, and I know what it's like to open a restaurant up. And I think the food was absolutely fantastic. You had a few teething problems with the POS system, and stuff like that. But on the whole, it was a really great job. I want to thank you and your staff for everything you did. Okay.
Thank you.
Also listening to the gentleman earlier on. So I had the same problem at the Yale Club. Okay. We were, in the middle of Manhattan. We charged a lot of money, and we had some older members who couldn't really afford a lot of stuff. And I think that's what we're looking at here. So I think what we have to do is, $18.50 for a chicken sandwich is not that expensive. However, I think as we move further forward, we need to be able to offer to the people a soup and sandwich option, a soup and papa sandwich option, a tuna salad, an egg salad, something that is inexpensive, so it gives them the option. If a Budweiser and a soup and sandwich is X number of dollars, and that protects you because now we're offering this on the menu, and they can't say, "Oh, there's nothing cheap on this menu." And I think it's going to be really important as we move further forward. Okay. The other thing we need to look at the restaurant is, people are going to be coming now, all right? And, I'm coming tomorrow, just for example. Now, I don't know the hours you're open and stuff like that. There's different options. There's the bar open, which means one person and a bar back. People like to get a drink depending what time. There's a limited menu option where you only have like 8, 9, or 10 things on the menu, and then there's the full menu. And I think within the gamut of that, we need to look probably in the near future, obviously Mondays is different, but Tuesday, Wednesday, you're talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe a Tuesday, Wednesday option for the bar open, and maybe some 4 or 5 light things to give us the option.
No, I don't know if I was clear, but after St. Patty's Day, we kicks us off. We're open.
Okay.
We're open full time. So St. Patty's literally kicks us into being open full time. So St. Patty's is the first day that we're literally open lunch and dinner, and then same thing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Monday we're closed, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all next week, we're open as if we're a full restaurant.
Okay, that's really music to my ears.
Yep. No, we're St. Patty's is literally kicking us open into the full swing of being open full time.
Okay, good. So what I suggest is that, and Alan, you've obviously got experience with this. It's where you and Don offline to have some conversation about your suggestions, which I think you just did was good. I think we need to get publicity out that starting Thursday, it's open, and it's open full time. I think we need to post somewhere, what a relative menu looks like with pricing. And then we're going to have to, put the hours up as to when it's open and what days it's open for breakfast, what days it's not, and that sort of thing. And that way, then we're covered. If we put it on the website, and if we put it on social media and that sort of thing, we've got that all out there. And now I think, from my experience, just with the group that I play with there, who happen to be just a bunch of young guys, when they play, and somebody says something about, when I stay around and get something to eat, Joe's laughing. Number one thing they talk about is, how much money, whatever. I mean, that's just what they do. So all their suggestions, I think, were good. So
yeah, and like I said, everything that we serve comes with a fries or a side too. It's not just a sandwich; you get a side with it.
Maybe you don't have to give that. If people want to just spend $10 or $12, maybe just we'll stick our heads together.
Yeah, I mean we can do that too. Like I don't mind if we want to. We can adjust it in the spring too a little more. We'll do another menu and kind of put some more. Like I want to do more of the half sandwich and soup stuff. With even like deli sandwiches, like really nice big Italian combos.
All right. So let's move. Like I mentioned, let's move that offline. I'm not real sure that's an option.
Can I just ask one question to Don? Don, what is the difference between this new menu you have at Oak Hills compared to your actual restaurant of Dry Dock on Main Ave? Like, is there a price difference or is basically everything the same pricing?
Nope, pricing is identical across the board, except
Okay.
we have some different items here that we have down there. So like we don't do
Okay.
barbecue down there. We're doing it up here.
Okay.
And barbecue's a little more expensive, but it's got, it's got some really nice items on here. But again, we're gonna change this menu a couple times a year, and we're gonna offer really great specials, especially lunch specials. We're gonna do the half sandwich and soup specials. We're gonna do drink specials. We're gonna do a lot of nice things for the golfers because I'm a golfer too, and I get it. Like, but the one thing people have to understand is food costing, and now with all the gas stuff, everything is up because now when stuff get delivered, people don't think about it, but you get more expensive for the delivery charges and all that. So it's across
Well,
the board.
buckle up because it's going to get worse.
Right. Well,
Um,
that's kind of why I want to put it in context when people say, well, a sandwich is $18.50. It's like,
And
okay,
I think,
put it
I
in
think
context.
I think there is something in either the bylaws or the contract or some pieces of the thousands of pieces of paper we have in regards to this place.
Yeah, the
about
pricing has to be in line with,
Pricing has to be
yeah.
in line with area restaurants within 50
Correct.
miles or something like that. So,
and
Okay.
our pricing is based off of that too. Like, we're a business. We know we got to price competitive with the competitors.
all right.
So when we do these menus, we always check with our competitors, Little Pub, Valencia's, O'Neill's, Blind Rhino. We look at all that and we put our pricings all in line.
Okay.
Our pricing is not higher than any of the other places. And again, we also have better quality burgers than a lot of places too. Like,
This
our
is true.
burger we bring in is high quality burger. It's not those frozen
I-
patties that just get thrown on a
So
grill.
moving along, because we've got about 10 minutes left to the top of the hour.
Just real quick, Carl. So the one thing we got to change is the phone number, and our website gets launched this week. We've been redesigning the whole thing.
Mhm.
It's taking longer than I thought. And then the phone number is going to change too, because we tried to get some just get some cordless phone for the restaurant, because they had those big clunky,
Mhm.
corporate phones, and we
Mhm.
just don't have any space for those. And we asked the guys, the Nextel or whoever it is that runs the phone system in the whole building, to give
Mhm.
us some handhelds, and they quoted us $1,300 to put in cordless phones, one jack.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I was like, I'm not paying that. And I know the authority's not going to pay that. I go, that's insane. I said, so I'm just going to get a cell phone tomorrow. I'm picking it up at T-Mobile, and I'm just going to use that as our phone, and I'll put that on our website. I'll put it on this website, on the golf course's website, and we'll just change the number, because that's insane. And I'll just have a cell phone that we use.
Don, we could talk about this offline, but I'll before you do that, let me talk to you tomorrow morning, okay?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mark.
All right.
Yep,
Thanks,
thanks.
Mark.
Yep.
All right, Paul.
Okay, well, 2022 season's getting going here, March 15th. We got the carts out today, cleaned them all up nicely. We're scheduling some of the staff, securing some outing deposits, and then some things that go along with the outings. Looking into new staffing, we're always going to need new people. So hopefully we get a couple new employees this year. Today we started setting up the golf shop. We have some of our new Easy Links and Golf Now POS system in the shop. So we got 4 new computers from them, laptops, and I think that's really going to help the whole overall business this year at Oak Hills. Just facilitate everything. And we had a lot of problems with phones going down and internet going down. So hopefully this year we won't have problems. And then we're cleaning up, and really not much to report on the last month because it's been closed, but we're just getting ready for the season. And I think one of the main goals this year too is statistics look really good for golf. I mean, down in Florida, golf is just booming. It's incredible. I mean, I'm actually really shocked at the prices they're charging for golf now. So Don's right. Everything's going up across the board. And I know Jim's seen it too. So prices are definitely going up. And I just think that we continually have to make Oak Hills better and better so we can stay competitive and, continue to make a profit every year. But what we're really going to focus on is we've got so many new golfers in the game. And so now we just want to keep them playing golf. We don't want them to quit. Golf's a hard game. It does take a lot of time. So we got to keep the retention of the game going. And I think the fact that people can still work from home is going to really help us out a lot as far as people playing golf this year.
Okay.
So I don't have much to report on other than that, but if anyone has any questions.
Anybody that played today, did anybody make any comments about the golf paths?
About the golf, what?
Carts, the cart paths, any of the public say anything?
Not really. I think, you know, when they came in, they kind of just went home. They didn't really hang around, but I'm sure we'll hear a lot. And we didn't even get a lot of golf carts out really today. It didn't seem like it was mostly people walking.
Okay. All right. And Jim, just a real quick question. How close are we to being completely finished with the cart paths?
Well, let's see. We've got to we've got to get 7 paved, and I have notice from Deering that they will let me know a couple of days in advance when they think the plants are going to open. And when that happens, I will be canceling carts for that day because you need that cart path for the front 9 to go up 7.
Mhm.
And B, you need it for the back 9 to go up to 10. So there's no 9-hole option that day. It's walking only that day when they pave it. So there's that. And then as far as like the soil and seeding is concerned, we have, let's see, the outside of 8 cart path, a little bit on the outside of 11 cart path, the outside of 12 cart path to put soil into. And then we can start seeding and dropping hay. And my guys have done pretty well so far with the limited staff that we have. And speaking to what Paul just said, yeah, I got to hire staff too. I keep losing them because I can't pay enough, and that's going to be an issue. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and suck it up. I mean, it is what's happening everywhere. So they're demanding more money for the same work, and there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Plus, it's hard to find people that even want to work.
Yeah.
That's
true.
another stuff.
I can third everything these guys are saying.
Yeah.
My kitchen staff alone has got a lot of money in there already, just staff up.
Sure. Yep. Yep, no doubt about it. So Mark, you're up.
In the interest of time, I'll cut through most of my other stuff. I'll just mention that Paul and Jim, in the next day or 2 at most, I'm going to have your department templates for the upcoming FY23 budget. I'll send it out to you. We are pushing for a fast turnaround on them. Jim, I already spoke to you about that.
When do you want them back? What's the date that you need them back?
April 30th. Sorry. End of March. So it'll be basically a 2-week turnaround.
Okay. So, I mean, is that when you want them on your desk or you want them before that?
I want them on my desk at that point, because then I can work on integrating them into the overall budget and all the working pieces. It shouldn't be too bad. I already spoke to Jim, and Jim has the largest part by far, and he doesn't think that'll be a problem at all. And Paul, I'm happy to, I'll be around, especially in the next couple of days. I plan on getting through a couple of big things like closing the books. So I'll be around here. Maybe just you come on into the office like we did last year, and we'll bang it out one afternoon before in the next 2 weeks. So I don't think it'll be a problem. I just want to give you guys a heads up. And then I'm going to move on to, I'm just going to share my screen here and just talk about our capital improvement budget and where we stand, as Denise mentioned earlier. So there are obviously 3 big projects here: the cart path paving, the restaurant, and the stone house improvements. Now, everyone's already pretty much aware of the cart path paving. We discussed that in previous meetings, and we mentioned the additional sorry, so let me just explain this real quick. You've got budget right here in this column, right? This is what is written in set in stone of what we said we were going to spend for the year. This is what we've actually paid and incurred to date. An additional committed is simply stuff that we are going to have to pay, but I have simply not cut a check yet. So this total actuals is a total of these 2 columns here, okay? And then this is where we were showing the overage for all 3 items. Now, again, the cart path paving, we knew we actually hit it right on the head. The budget was perfect. But due to the number 7 path that was basically demolished during the construction, we are gonna have to pay an extra 11,200. Jim, that number is still good, right?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
they didn't say
Um,
otherwise in the email that they sent.
Okay, perfect. And Jim also spoke, I think, in previous meetings about the kitchen renovations that were badly needed and overdue in his house, and how just to get it all done was I think more beneficial and cost savings than doing it piecemeal, which we originally had, I guess, budgeted for. So that at the end of the day, and this is slightly estimated here, so maybe a little bit different there, but basically would be $8,000 to $9,000 over budget there. Now, that leads to the restaurant improvements. And, you know, when I say restaurant improvements, that includes the entire new bar build out, kitchen, things like plumbing and running draft lines, a lot of furniture and fixtures, and then a little bit for the halfway house as well. And obviously we did go over quite a bit on that line there. You know, and in speaking with Don, at the end of the day, we simply decided these are items that we as a company would be beneficial for us to have and own these going forward. It simply happened a little bit earlier maybe than we were planning on doing. So all in all, oh, and sorry, on that one line there too, you'll see my little note down below. Basically, last year we had committed to $55,000 spending on the restaurant improvements. And by last year, I mean FY 21, so ending June 30th, 2021. And at the end of the day, we only spent about $45,000. So we had a $10,000 underspend, which, you know, you look at something like this, it's an overall project, so it spans 2 years. The money doesn't just simply go away. So that $10,000 we're basically funneling into here. So instead of 35,000, we're more like 25,000 over as a project total.
Can
Now,
I ask you a question?
Sorry, yes,
to
please go
interrupt.
ahead. No, go ahead.
What is all other? What projects were those supposed to be?
The bulk of that was the golf simulator. That was $40,000 alone.
Yeah, but the golf simulator money was there in the event that we got it to generate the extra revenue to cover it, right?
Correct.
So it was one of those where if we weren't going to buy it, then we weren't going to use it. Wasn't that thought process?
That was the thought process.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I didn't have amnesia there.
Nope.
Oh,
And in addition, there was just some other small items, you know, Jim, siding for the front entrance house and a couple other improvements to different structures, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
You said you had a couple questions?
Oh, that's it. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Any other questions before I quickly talk about tennis? Yes.
Don, you're on mute.
Mark, just out of curiosity, are we still, I know we were looking at the simulators and I have the contact from Paul to follow up. Is that a project that we still want to go forward with it? And if so, I can follow up with the guy to kind of start mapping out the thing for the pro shop or for the old pro shop. Just let me know. That's a project.
I don't know that I'm the right guy to. I don't know that I'm the right guy to answer that. I mean, at this point, this late now, we're getting into the season. I think it would probably we'd have to have a group discussion on that to see because if we went ahead and actually spent whether it was $20,000 or $40,000 in this fiscal year.
Let me jump in.
Yes, please go ahead.
It was a strategic priority for this fiscal year. It's still a good idea if we can see the financials that bear it out and make it a good strategic priority for FY23. Then I think we should talk about it as part of the budgeting item, whether it's a CapEx in 23. So if we can make a business case for it, yes. So I think the first step is reaching out, getting the financials, getting some sort of pro forma together, and then we can budget for it if we as a board decide that's something we want to do.
All right, I'll talk with Paul tomorrow. We'll kind of get together because it was his contact.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a game plan for you guys.
That'd be great.
can we get that game plan rather soon also, because we do need to get the budget done and get it in.
Sure.
And real quick, I do have other contacts now, going to the PGA show and talking to some other met PGA pros over the winter who've done simulators with other guys. There's another great guy in our area here. Also, you know, the room is really not ready. I mean, last year I got rid of the counter. I started patching up some holes. You know, so right now I'm going to try to finish patching holes, maybe paint it, just make it a little more presentable, and hopefully maybe even get a carpet in there from a friend of mine. But the building needs work as we go forward with thinking about simulators and a furnace, boiler.
Oh,
hopefully.
again, we'll take it offline just real quick though. Usually those companies that do that will kind of remake the room and how they need to make it and do all those things we need to do. So if we can get them to do the financial layout for us, I think let them do the work. You know what I mean?
That's the actual simulator people.
Yeah,
don't-
usually they just come in and they'll redo the whole room and figure out, like, lay it out and then do all the construction we ask them to do, right?
That makes sense.
You're gonna pay for it gets expensive that way.
Yeah,
But-
like I said, we can do all the financials you and I together and kind of pin these guys down.
So Mark, if I could ask you a quick question, it's really tough to do a capital budget for next year until we kind of have an idea what we think we're going to throw off from a cash flow point of view. Because, we could say do a capital budget for $400,000, but for only, positive cash, we only afford to do 200,000. It kind of doesn't make sense. So I guess when we sit down, or, do you tell us, based upon certain assumptions of revenue, obviously we fixed our pricing, obviously we're going to come up with a number of rounds, etc. How much we think we're going to throw off, basically, that we can afford to do?
Yeah, sure. That's definitely that's part of the whole budget process. So when we look at it, we look at the net cash effect and try to figure out, all right, how much can we afford to put into our capital improvements? And especially this past year, we focused on items that we thought would be would have a nice return on investment.
Yeah.
So yes, we don't. So at the end of the day, the budget that we'll put together will show a net effect on cash, which would include the CapEx.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
so you guys will work on that and we'll get a plan together. It would be great for you guys to have something to talk to us about, Mike and I and Joe collectively, like the three of us, or something to report before the next meeting, which is the 21st of April. But there's, so I want to move along because there's another important piece of business we need to talk about.
Carl, sorry, there's one thing that we do have to discuss real quick is about the drainage at the tennis facility that Denise was talking about earlier. We just found out about it yesterday. It's about $4,000, and in what it sounds like, it does seem very necessary. We did commit to spend up to $9,000 per year, or $45,000 over 5 years of capital improvements with at the tennis facility with Kings Highway. So my recommendation would be we go ahead and do that. And then, we could take this golf simulators as a separate item, but otherwise we basically lock out CapEx for the rest of the year unless there's absolutely anything that is complete necessity, something mandatory. So my recommendation is we just basically shut down for the rest of the year, and we'll come in at a $10,000 overage, which after you add in the $10,000 underage from last year, we really come in flat for the year. So it works.
Right, and does any of that tennis stuff, the drainage and that, is any of that covered by what's in the agreement about Kings Highway's obligation to put money into the tennis courts every year also?
No, not for something like that. That's part of the groundwork. That would be something that we would it would be our cost.
Okay.
And let me just say, Carl, we built in and we increased their rental costs.
Yes.
In exchange, we promised to put in more capital improvements. So in a sense, they are paying into it, yes. But but at the end of the day, we will actually write the check because we're getting in the form of rental income.
So you're saying that the upgrade of the rental, if that's a word, offsets that part that used to be in the contract about their obligation to put money into maintenance.
There's still wording on maintenance, somewhat,
Okay.
but
Right.
yeah.
All right, but you're comfortable with it, and Denise, you're comfortable with it.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Let's do it.
I'm fine for that. Yeah,
Okay, thank
I'm
you,
good.
everyone.
I'm good with that.
Thank you.
All right. So as we move along, this is our March meeting. We're coming up on certain terms real quick, Jim.
Jim?
No, you guys just skipped me, but that's cool. I don't really have that much to say.
Oh, you are above Mark. No, you got a lot to say. Go for it.
All right. So I just want to tell you guys so everybody's aware, okay? I normally like this to say that the course is in great shape, but right now we have damage from the winter on 4 greens. 1 and 7 should come out of it okay with just a little bit of work on number 7 maybe. Number 5 has some widespread hurt, if you will. But I'm fairly confident that most of it will come back. Hopefully there's not too much work there. But number 3, it's got enough that I have it closed right now. I really want to see some green coming up through what's hurt and get an idea of how much is there. Plus that green is so small, and with the traffic, I have to let it sit so that there's no traffic to stunt the growth.
Jim, is this weather damage or is this from people walking on it when it was
This is
frozen
winter.
or-
You know, if you were watching all winter, we had so many freeze thaw
Oh, yeah.
cycles.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. And when that happens, the grass gets saturated with water, and it has nothing to do. I can't change anything physically to prevent this from happening. The grass gets saturated with water, and then overnight it freezes almost instantaneously, and the cells explode when they thaw.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No, I was just curious.
there's almost like nothing I can do. So
Okay.
let's just be on the lookout for that. That we should be okay, but hopefully number 3, that's the worry.
Okay.
Also, I've been looking at the commercial debt schedule. I haven't updated it in quite a while, and I am going to do it this month. But you guys should also know that the fairway mowers, which I made the purchase for, I think it was late July or early August, they're not coming in until June. So we're not going to see any increase in commercial debt this fiscal year, really, except for the purchase of the blower for the tractor. I just don't want anyone to be surprised next year when I'm going to be asking for more equipment. And I mean, it's technically supposed to be an annual thing. It's not going to be like a double payment or anything, because fairway mowers are quite pricey, and I won't be spending that much money.
Is this
every year.
because of the supply chain thing?
Yes. All right, man. That's really the 2 things I really wanted to say. Everything else is irrelevant.
Hey, Jim, do you have a big tree come down on, what was it, 11 or something?
Yes, sir. Did
I
you see it
drove
from
past-
Willow Street when it was down?
Oh, yeah, man. I drove.
I saw it in the
past
middle of the night. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
So what's the status on that? Yeah, 'cause I haven't seen it recently.
Oh, it's all cleaned up. I mean, the stump is still there, but
Which tree was this on 11?
right at the beginning of the fairway on the
Okay.
left.
Just where the nets. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, there's one less tree to bounce a ball into the tennis courts.
Or to stop the ball from going in.
The center of my balls are all
No.
bought to attract themselves to trees. There's a wood attractor there, so. As long as they're on the right. All right, everybody keep it clean. All right. Anything else?
That's it for me. Thank you.
Joe? Nothing? You're all squared away.
Carl, you forgot about me, but I have nothing to report.
No, I didn't forget about you. You're actually reminding me as I was looking at you there that, and what I started to say before, and I apologize, Jim, that, we're in the March meeting, so we're actually coming up on the end of some people's terms to the board.
No, I was talking about the rules committee. I had nothing to report, but you skipped over me in the agenda.
You were item C.
Yeah, well, I have nothing to report, so it's a good thing you skipped
Have
over
you guys had a
me. So,
meeting or anything?
I've just been looking over at different rules and regulations that other golf courses have set up on how to deal with instances. And now I need to set up a committee meeting, so we can discuss them and see how we want to move forward for our golf course. So
Okay.
that's basically all I have to report.
You think you'll have anything solid or to start the report by the next meeting, the 21st of April?
Yes, I will.
Okay, good. All right. All right, so back to the fact that some people will be coming off of the board at the end of this. Don't give me that. That's at the end of this, whatever you call our year, half year here. Rayanne's doing it because she's termed out and has served her time.
I'm
in July.
termed out. I've done 6 years, you guys. June 24th, I've termed out. I've done 6 years of this.
So we're going to need, in addition to finding some people, which some of that conversation I've had and Mike has had with the city, we are also going to need to have an election of an executive board. That is the treasurer, which is currently held by Joe, the chairman, which is currently held by Mike, and the vice chair, which is currently held by moi. And Rayanne, if you don't mind, in the years past, you've kind of chaired that committee and reached out to other people to see if they want to run. Do you mind doing that again? Your one last hurrah before you leave?
I'm more than happy to do it since obviously I can't run and I have no like real say into what happens as of July 1st since I'm done in June. So I'll be more than happy to do it.
All right, so then you're really kind of Switzerland. That's good. All right, so we need to do that. So everybody be thinking, if you want to add additional duties to your duties of already being on the board, we will need a chairman, we will need a vice chairman, and we will need a financial chief executive, whatever the title is, something like that. We'll need a Joe is what we need. And he's working on cloning himself, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. And so then we need these nominations, and then they can be brought forth in the next meeting. And Mark, you're still here, right? Yeah. So we can bring these forward in the next meeting, which would be the April meeting. And then in May, we vote on them in the May meeting because they will begin these new positions and terms in the either July or June meeting.
The new terms always start with the July meeting. It starts July 1st because whoever gets termed out or whoever's term ends in June and doesn't want to go for a reappointment, they end, you guys get new reappointments and everybody's new term starts in July. That's technically the beginning of your year every year.
Okay. And for, if you know anybody that you want to suggest to Mike and I about getting on the board, please send me a resume to Mike and I, the resume and who they are and that sort of thing. And then basically we take that up to city council. City council then takes a look at it. Then it gets moved on to the mayor, and really then that's kind of where it all ends up. So if you know someone, let us know. Let us know. Al's kind of in a unique position where he's at with his term right now, but he and I have spoken on that, and I spoke to the city about it, and I really don't think that's going to be an issue. Right now, he's all smiles and wants to hang around with us for a while longer, and that's a good thing. So, okay. Anything else? We're a little over, but we're still not doing bad. It's 8:18.
Carl, doesn't Mike's term end this June also?
Mike's term ends this June as a board member and also ends as chairman. And if you want to know what Mike wants to do or what Mike's thinking, I suggest you email him and ask him. I'm not going to.
Right. I mean, but we have to reach out to him because he has to see if he wants to be appointed for a second term or if he's completely done after the first 3-year term.
Correct. And like I say, I would contact him directly and ask him that.
Mm-hmm.
I know the answer, but I'm not speaking for him.
I do also. He and I have already discussed this, so I already know his answer too.
Okay. All right. Anything else that anybody wants to bring up? All right, Don, I'll see you Thursday. Or
Yeah, I'll be there Thursday.
okay. And you'll be there, Mark, Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay. Paul, what's a good time to call you in the morning?
Whenever you like. Whatever works.
6:30?
Sure.
Okay. Denise is laughing. I thought you knew me better than that, Denise. I make 6:30 calls.
Too early for me. When I start working from home, I get up at like 8:45 to be on the computer at 9. So it's
That's
much
why we
too early.
can't find people to go back to work in jobs and offices. There you go. All right, do I have a motion for us to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Alan. Do I have a second?
I second.
Jennifer, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Guys, good night.
All right, have a-
Good night,
have a
guys.
good rest of the night and rest of the week, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.